Did the Las Vegas Raiders get an absolute steal at the quarterback position? We are going to talk about it in this video, but first I got to know, what team are you on? Like, what camp? Are you Aiden O'Connell camp or are you Cam Miller camp? You've only seen Cam Miller throw 7 passes as a professional, and it was in the preseason. But you got to admit, it makes you feel like you like him. And some of you are probably watching the preseason, and you're like, all right, we got Geno Smith. He's our guy. Aiden O'Connell, he stepped up for us last year. Some of us really liked him. He was able to hold off what is a guy that has been a career solid backup, and he was able to actually be the better player. So like last year. So you have to have some of these wonderings and these thoughts of, all right, Aiden O'Connell, like we're all set. But then you went out and you picked up in the 6th round this dude out of a place called North Dakota State. And none of us knew who he was because none of us regularly watch North Dakota State play football. We know they are a powerhouse in their division, but we also know they're not a Division I football school. So yes, they are a powerhouse. Yes, they do well, but the fact is it is significantly lesser competition. The last quarterback we saw come out of North Dakota State University was, anybody? Throw it in the comments. Trey Lance, who, by the way, looked fantastic in his first preseason game. So, yeah, this is kind of interesting. Trey Lance is considered a bust, and I understand that. I still think he has time to right the ship. He's still very young, came out too early. But Cam Miller is a completely different guy. He's a completely different guy. And I want to talk about a little bit of it. So, Cam Miller has played in each of the last 4 seasons at North Dakota State. He actually played a 5th season as well, just not as much. But he was the primary starter, and he started slinging the football, tons of attempts over the last 2 years. Over the last 2 years, he's thrown for 2,700 yards and 3,200 yards, which at North Dakota State is a large amount of yards. His touchdown interception from 2023 was 19-4. His touchdown to interception in 2024 was 33-4. He threw for over 3,200 yards, completed 73% of his passes for the Bison, and he was selected in the 6th round. Now, again, there are a bunch of people lately. One of the great characteristics we've seen from quarterbacks going into the NFL is quarterbacks who have started an inordinately large amount of games. The quarterbacks that have the more playing experience are more NFL ready. Shocker. Imagine that, right? But they are ready to hit the ground running. Cam Miller showed these instincts. He threw to the 2nd and to the 3rd level. He had pump fakes. He made defenders by rolling out of the pocket. Now, this is what I found interesting. I wanted to know, I'm like, because there was a couple of times I'm like, dude rolled out and it looked like he actually had a little bit of wiggle and a little bit of speed for him. So I'm like, how fast is he? Right? Like, how fast is he? And he's a 4.8, 4.40 guy. Not that fast, right? Like, he's not that fast, but his playing speed seemed faster. He's a good enough athlete to play the quarterback position, but he's not going to be like this elite athlete at the quarterback position. But he did those things really well. His height is not elite, but everything else, no problem. Just fine. Just fine. And so I look at this and I'm like, all right, let's just take a second and let's take a step back. Here's what we know. He was 6 of 7 for 76 yards. And one of those was a 41-yard bomb. So that means he went 5 of 6 for 35 yards in the other ones. He took the plays that the defense gave him, all right, and he rallied the Raiders to a comeback victory. All right, now let's just look at a couple of things. Here's what we know. Tom Brady is the guy that said, I want him. This was a Tom Brady pick, essentially. At least that's what we're hearing in the back channels. This is a Tom Brady pick, that he liked him. Tom Brady has traditionally liked guys. He has talked about how he just loves guys that can make quick reads, that can throw the ball well. They don't have to be elite athletes. In other words, Tom Brady liked people that are like Tom Brady. Okay? Like, thank you, Tom. And this might be one of them. So then the question has to become, Are you keeping 3 quarterbacks, or are you getting rid of Aiden O'Connell all of a sudden? And there's another article that I was reading that talked about how the Raiders have they said obvious, Aiden O'Connell trade partner after latest update. All right. Now, it starts the article by saying the Las Vegas Raiders made a decision to upgrade the quarterback room this offseason. All right. Yes, they did swap out Gardner Minshew for Geno Smith. Yes, they drafted a promising young quarterback. But to say the upgrade of drafting Cam Miller is an upgrade over Aiden O'Connell, not so fast. Aiden O'Connell was a 4th-round pick. All right, Cam Miller's a 6th. However, some people, when they take the field, they just look different, don't they? And do you feel like Cam Miller is one of those guys that just had a different feel to it? Like, it felt like he understood the game. He had a natural ability to understand what was going on around him, whether it was protections in the pocket, whether it was how to get defenders to bite and throw to the next level. Whatever it might be, he did feel like he had that it factor. Aiden O'Connell never felt like he was a guy who had that it factor. He was always a good quarterback at Purdue. Like, he really was, and led those teams to some good seasons. He absolutely did, but he never felt like the guy who just had it all figured out. I was perplexed when he was drafted in the 4th round. I was like, I didn't know this guy was an NFL quarterback, but he's always seemed to do okay. And now the Raiders, this article is proposing that they should trade Aiden O'Connell to the Jets after the Tyrod Taylor injury. Tyrod Taylor is he underwent knee surgery. He's out for the rest of the preseason. His status for the season opener is in question. I understand why the Jets have Tyrod Taylor. They have Tyrod Taylor because they can run a similar offense with him as they do with Justin Fields, their quarterback. But they're saying, hey, the Jets have 4 6th-round picks in the 2026 NFL draft. That would be more than enough of compensation for O'Connell. Yeah, a former 4th-rounder. Yeah, you don't want 1 6th-round pick, but they're not going to give you 4. So would you be willing to trade Aiden O'Connell for a pair of 6th-rounders? I think that's the question. You just use a 6th-rounder to get Cam Miller, and are you already off the Aiden O'Connell bus? I don't know that I would be. Like, let's see what Cam Miller has going forward, because by all accounts, the Raiders have a roster that feels like it could be ready to compete for a playoff position this year. It feels like they have a roster that could do that. And if not this year, next year. And Aiden O'Connell is a viable backup that can run an offense. I don't know that Cam Miller has proven that yet. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like in the next start. Are they going to let him get some run ahead of Aiden O'Connell? What are they feeling about him? You don't know. And that's the beauty of preseason football. We get to talk about 6th-round picks that, wait a minute, could they be the future? And now, when you have a guy running your organization that was a 6th-round pick, you have a guy that was Mr. Relevant in Brock Purdy that just signed a massive extension that is a starting quarterback at a high caliber for a solid football team in the San Francisco 49ers, all of a sudden, you can get your quarterback at any round. You just got to strike gold, and maybe the Raiders did. All right, thanks for watching. See you at the next one.